story is all about. Good morning, Karen Travers.
Good morning.
Where are we this morning?
So last night, the New York Times published what's a pretty damning piece for Donald Trump Jr., saying that before he agreed to this meeting with a Russian lawyer back in June of 2016, he was told in an email that the lawyer had information that came from the Russian government, information that was intended to help his father's campaign versus Hillary Clinton. And why this is a problem, because Saturday, the first statement was that this meeting was only about adoption and that Donald Trump Jr. didn't know who he was even meeting with, let alone what it was going to be about. Then later they said, well, yes, the Russian had during this meeting promised some damaging information about Clinton, but it went nowhere, but we felt we had to listen. Now this reporting, again, we haven't confirmed this, but this reporting says he knew about the Clinton-Russia information ahead of time. His lawyer said in a statement overnight that this is much ado about nothing and that he did nothing wrong.
Yeah. Much ado about nothing doesn't mean that there isn't an email, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't deny the email actually existed.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's what the email said. The statement from the lawyer said that, yes, this acquaintance sent an email suggesting that people had information concerning alleged wrongdoing by Hillary Clinton related to her Russian activities, but that the lawyer's statement doesn't say that the email said the information was coming from Russia. That's what the New York Times is reporting.
The New York Times also says that, I mean, these leaks aren't coming from the DNC. These leaks are coming from inside the White House.
Yeah, I mean, this is the big speculation game in Washington over where this information is coming from and who is leaking it for what purpose. Who is it trying to help? I think yesterday the White House, frustrated with all the questions about it, but it's not going to go away. I mean, there are going to be a lot of questions about this. And on a story like this where, it broke on Saturday night, Saturday evening, I was in Germany with the president at that point. And since then, as the story has come out and kind of gotten another layer, the statements by Donald Trump Jr. have evolved too. You got to look at this from one of those, you knew about this on Saturday when the first report came out. Why not just put everything out there?
Yeah. You were with as you said, traveling with the president. Did you get a sense of a heightened sense of urgency, or were you kept far away where you couldn't see much?
In terms of the demonstration?
No. In terms of when they knew this was coming out, did you get a sense that they were running around?
No, actually, in fact, at that point, the president was already en route back to Washington. I think it was Saturday evening, dinner time, Eastern Standard Time, when it broke. So the reporters were all there. It was right before we all went on the air that evening, but the president was already heading back to D.C., so no statement until after they got there.
Yeah, Karen Travers, a lot of people are trying to figure out how big of a story this is, right? There's a story every day. Some are bigger than others. This seems to cross some type of Rubicon here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it does. Here's the thing. It's some could dismiss it as Donald Trump Jr. himself did as well. When you're told, you have information, somebody's going to give you information to help your candidate, you're going to take it, and every political operative would say, of course, opposition research is a huge part of campaigning. I've got some dirt. This could help you. Your candidate's opponent did X, Y, or Z. But the red flags that should go up when it's a Russian lawyer with Kremlin ties giving information that the New York Times says was explained to be coming from the Russian government, at some point that has to say, okay, whoa, we have to stop here.
Yeah, the other thing, too, is that they keep talking about adoptions, but really it's not about adoptions. It's about the sanctions.
Yeah, and exactly. That's where it's not just out of a goodwill of, the United States, people here being allowed to adopt Russian children. I mean, this was a really complicated thing. There was this law that was aimed at barring Russian officials from coming to the United States using the American banking system. And then the response to that from Russia was to cut off those adoptions. This lawyer was working on that effort by the Russians to get the U.S. to scale back that law.
Yeah, and this lawyer, this Marinsky, a lawyer, has since been killed. He died, right? Wasn't he poisoned and died and jailed and died in jail? So
yeah, it's extremely complicated. So the idea that it's just a, nice fuzzy story about adopting children. I mean, there's a lot of politics involved in this.
Yeah. What is the next step? I mean, is this just going to lie there? Is there anybody going to do anything? Is anybody going to say anything? What are you hearing?
So Donald Trump Jr. says he will cooperate with anybody that's investigating this. He'll pass on what he knows. That, of course, would mean the Senate Intelligence Committee. And yesterday they indicated they want to have him come and answer questions. So it's just, he's now another name on that list that will be meeting with lawmakers to talk about this broader investigation. And, I don't know where it goes. We'll see. Saturday it was one thing, then Sunday another, Monday another, and see where it happens on Tuesday.
Never a dull moment. Karen Travers,
That's for
ABC
sure.
News White House correspondent. Thanks, Karen.
Thank you.
6:55.